Hello! Hello again, it's IELTS with me tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to write a Band 9 essay for your IELTS writing task 1 question. In this module, we'll focus on a 3-step process to learn it and use it in your IELTS writing task 1. In part 1, we talked about step 1 and half of step 2, actually grouping the data and then identifying trends and exception. And now we are gonna select the main features using figures, right? Numbers. Remember that task 1 instruction always says summarize the information, select and describe the main features, and make comparison where relevant. Main features in data tasks means the key figures which demonstrate the groups, trends, and exceptions which you have identified. It is impossible and totally unnecessary to select more than a few figures to use in your task 1 essay. For example, our example chart 3, electricity in hospitals, contains 35 figures. Example chart 4 has 18 figures. In task 1, you may have up to 3 such charts to describe, right? You should use your pen to highlight the figures and the charts which show the most noticeable figures in each group of data, because this will give you the trend. For example, in example chart 3, you should not list all the figures for France and Japan. If you say France and Japan fluctuated around 32 and 18 megawatt respectively. This shows you understand the trend and have selected a key figure in each country to demonstrate that, to show that. Remember this chart, okay? France fluctuating 32, 31, 33, and Japan 18, 19, 17. We are actually think the fluctuating trends, right? And taking example chart 4 as another example, okay? You do not need to list all the figures in the ticket price group. If you say the 8 a.m. passenger surge is matched by a high price of $29 followed by a peak of $31 at midday and a decrease of $7 by 4 p.m. or similar, actually you demonstrate that you have seen the trend and can select the figures, okay? It's very important to avoid the mistake of simply listing the figures. We don't want this. That you see in the charts. You should never describe the figures in sequence, in order, from left to right or from top to bottom. You must show that you can group data, identify trends and exceptions, and select the key figures. If the examiner feels that you have done this in your essay, you will increase your band score considerably, even if there are some mistakes in your English. Okay, our last step is step 3, writing the essay. We will start to write the essay. You should spend about 5 minutes maximum on step 1 and 2 in our process. You have to do it very fast. Okay, by this stage you have about 15 minutes remaining for task 1, so you need to work rapidly, very fast. By this stage, you should have plenty of notes make with your pen on the test paper itself. We recommend that you do not make a plan for the task 1 essay because this would take too long and your notes should be sufficient. Now, using your notes, you can start writing your essay and complete it in about 10 or 12 minutes. How to write the introduction sentence. For your introduction, actually, the examiner wants to see a clear single sentence that shows you have analyzed and introduced the data, timescales, and units involved. To do this, take the explanatory part of the task instruction and paraphrase it in your own words. Okay, let's start. For example, if the task instructions includes information, the first graph below shows the weight in tons of fruit produced by a farm during each month in 2013, and also the amount in tons of fertilizers used. This second graph shows the volume of rainfall in each month in millimeters. You can paraphrase this actually. The charts give data regarding about the tonnage AGE of fruit produced in a farm per month in 2013. In the year 2013, the fertilizer used and the monthly rainfall in that specific year. Another example is the table shows data about the average length of time in minutes that people of different ages spend in a consultation with family doctors in a number of countries, which you can paraphrase as, again, the chart shows data, gives information, provides information about the typical time that patients spend with doctors in various different kinds of various countries, various nations, split by, age group, people in different age, right? In these two examples, the candidate has replaced as many words as possible from the task with his or her own words. For example, data with information, average with typical, a number of with various, different, and etc. He or she has also varied the structure of sentences, condensing the first example into one sentence and making the sentences slightly shorter. Doing this will be enough to start your essay successfully. Remember that in your introduction sentence, you must not include any figures or data except the years if given, not give any background to the topic or add any knowledge, opinion, or ideas of your own. Save that for task 2 where it is needed. Not copy the complete task instruction from the test paper without changing or paraphrasing it. If you practice this, you should be able to write a good introduction sentence in about 1 minute, leaving enough time for the main body of the essay. Don't spend longer than 1 minute on this because you will need plenty of time to write the main body. Okay. In step 3, B part, write the main body paragraphs, explain the group trends, give selected figures, compare groups, and explain exceptions. Okay, important part. You will gain marks by having a very clearly structured essay. To achieve this, you describe each chart, table, or graph in turn, explaining any trends or exceptions that you have seen between the groups of data. You should explain the trends at the beginning of each group, then give your selected figures to illustrate. For example, regarding X, the trend is a slow rise, and then a fall going from 100 to 110, and then down to 80. You should try to compare any trend and exceptions that exist between the different charts and groups. You should use the notes you have made on the test paper to remind you what to write, including the key figures. Okay, here we see hospital electricity usage, right? We have movement data. And regarding electricity, we see the consumption in the French and Japanese hospital. We grouped France and Japan, Canada and Argentina, and Canada and Russia, and Argentina is exception, right? In French and Japanese hospitals, in roughly stable during the week, fluctuating around 32 and 18 megawatt respectively. In Canada and Russia, electricity use climbs dramatically towards the end of the week, going from 26 to 38 MB and from 12 to 24 megawatt. In Argentina, however, great way to express exception, the use actually declines by almost half. Important. Please notice how this paragraph is organized. The candidate identifies the first group of data for French or Japanese hospitals, explain the trend, fluctuation trend pattern, and gives just two figures to show how they fluctuated. He then identifies the second group for Canada and Russia and explains the trend increasing pattern, giving the start and end figures to illustrate the extent of the increase. He shows that Argentina is the exception and has decided not to use a figure to illustrate that, to show that. This is acceptable, remember that, as he shows his understanding of the figures by writing declines by almost half without writing any figures, any number. This demonstrates that he can see the proportion of the decline. A paragraph such as this will achieve a very high band score in task 1, provided the whole essay is of a similar standard. Okay? I hope that you enjoyed this module till now. I will continue on part 3, the last part, and thank you so much for watching till now. I really need your support, and see you soon in another IELTS with me tutorial. Take care and bye!